Then Marvel dropped the ball with Secret Invasion. So recently, Secret Invasion did finish its season finale, finished out the season. So, going to be giving my thoughts, giving my review on what I thought about this season. Talk about some of the positives first. One of the things I did like about this season was the banter, the kind of chemistry that we had between Talos and Nick Fury. Honestly, their banter and just their how well they played off each other was honestly great throughout the whole season. And the standout to me, actually, this season is going to go to Olivia Colman's character, which was Sonya. I think she was definitely a standout for this season. She had such great chemistry with Nick Fury in different scenes, and she just seemed overall like an awesome character, just a standout for the season for me. I think Gravik was honestly a good villain for this series. He really was another standout for me when just some of his dialogue, just some of the things he was doing in this season, and just the villainous things he was doing in this season. Honestly, just a good villain overall in this season. Another thing I really liked for this season was the way that this season really wasn't like action heavy or anything. It really played out well through the dialogue, through the conversations that we got throughout the season between characters. Like really, they were trying to put this series along the lines of like Winter Soldier, and at least when it came to some of the conversations, some of the dialogue, this was very dialogue driven season. So I really liked the dialogue, the conversations, and the dialogue driven, story kind of driven things that we got with this season overall. And honestly, I actually did kind of like the slow pace that they were trying to give us, at least through the first 3 episodes that we got. It was kind of a slower pace, and I kind of did actually like that slower pace. A slow pace doesn't work for everything, but it honestly did work for most of the season. And I really liked the whole sort of paranoia thriller we kind of got with this season. Like, you know, the whole thing about it, the season was like you didn't know who was a Skrull, and who was on your side, everything like that. So the whole paranoia thriller type of thing we got with this season was honestly pretty good. And like I was saying about the action, where it's not too action heavy, but this season, at least most of the season, wasn't too CGI heavy either. They did a great use of having the Skrulls, you know, this whenever the Skrulls transform, it was actually good use of CGI. It didn't look pretty good, pretty well done. But like just the use of kind of eliminating CGI in different scenes where you have people kind of like go behind a building and they like switch to people. It's like it's off screen kind of switching for Skrulls and all that stuff, and just some of the other stuff they're able to do honestly was well done and really took out the use of CGI. And it was kind of interesting to see how a lot of characters were like saying how Nick Fury's past his prime, you know, like since the blip he's been different and past his prime. So it's interesting to see how Fury was developing throughout the series, the season, and just really trying to, I guess, sort of get back to that way he was before the blip. But like you could like see his development in the series. But of course, there was some stuff I did not necessarily like about this season. Like I was saying with the slow pace and all that stuff, it was really working pretty well in like at least the first 3 episodes. But when it came around to like the 4th episode and after that, they really started to like rush through things a lot. And honestly, each episode was getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and I just didn't really like that. I wish they would have kept the episodes a little longer to really kind of flesh some stuff out. It just felt like it was rushed in the last few episodes. So I really did want to have that slow pace kind of go throughout the whole season, have episodes extended probably too, and being able to just have that not feel so rushed. Like I actually felt unsatisfied with some of the episodes because they felt so short and they felt so rushed, and it just felt like they didn't flesh things out, and I felt unsatisfied with some of the episodes. When it came down to like the last episode, the finale of the season, there was that speech that Gravik was giving to Nick Fury, but it turns out, spoiler alert, it wasn't Nick Fury, it was actually Gaia in disguise as Nick Fury. I wish they could have somehow had that conversation, had that meet up and face off between the real Nick Fury and Gravik, because I just think that speech he was giving and talking to Fury on how he felt and stuff like that was honestly just a waste if it wasn't given to the actual Nick Fury. And when it came to like the finale episode where Gravik and Gaia were basically having the whole big battle, it just felt so short. It just felt like it just went fast. It didn't look too good. Like some CGI stuff, it just felt a little weird too. Like just seeing some of the effects on like how the powers were, and you know, you get like Gaia and Gravik, they had like these big arms, and then they had on Gaia, since she's smaller, she had smaller arms and it just looked weird on her. And I just really want that battle to last a little longer. It didn't last that long. It lasted only a couple minutes, like at least 4 or maybe under 4 minutes. So not very long. I wish the battle would have been more stretched out a little bit more. And like how I was saying, the episodes were so short. Like they used to start off at like 50 minutes. and they just got shorter, going all the way down to like under 30 minutes, and it was like just felt so unsatisfying by the time the episode was done. Just felt rushed. It just felt unsatisfying. Just felt like it would have benefited more of extending some episodes out and being able to flesh some other things out more. So really, I enjoyed the first 3 episodes a lot. I really liked the pace they were going with, but when came down to like episode 4, episode 5, episode 6, the finale, and all that, by the time it was all said and done with the season, or with the finale and the season being over, I just felt like I just was left unsatisfied. I'm not saying this series was bad or anything. It just felt, I just felt unsatisfied with it by the time it was done. I wish they could have fleshed some things out a little bit more, extend episodes to be able to give us that, and be able to keep the same pace throughout the whole series. Like, I really like those first 3 episodes and the pace they were giving us. I wish they would have kept that a little bit more in the series. And just thinking about like some of these things that they left off with, is like Gaia has all these powers now. Is she the most powerful MCU character now? Is she going to keep those powers? What's going to happen in the future? The whole use of, finding out that Rhodey is a Skrull, which people really thought he was a Skrull already coming into the show, and it was basically confirmed that he was a Skrull, and it was just like thinking about when was he taken, and just clues point to like he was taken during Captain America Civil War, and it was like if he was really taken, we don't know for sure if he was taken during that time or not. He could have been taken at a different time, but if he was for sure taken at that time, it's like you kind of take away some of that character stuff, like, and especially when Tony Stark dies, you take away some of that character stuff. And I don't know, I think it's going to be interesting to see when they actually say he was actually taken, and when do they actually confirm that. And it's like, what's going to be his reaction to if he was actually taken after Civil War? Like, what's his reaction to find out that Tony Stark is dead, basically his best friend, So it's going to be interesting to see when they actually confirm he was actually taken as a Skrull, or transformed into a Skrull and all that. And I do say it does take away some of the character stuff of having him be a Skrull since Civil War. But on the other hand, it's kind of interesting to see what's going to happen if he was not around when Tony Stark died. How's he going to react? Where are we going to see that? And just let Don Cheadle just act that scene out. It'll be interesting to see that. But yeah, overall, for this series, I was liking it in the beginning. The first 3 episodes I especially did like. I wish they would have kept that same energy, that same integrity from 3 episodes, and continued it out throughout the whole season, throughout the whole series. But unfortunately, they didn't. The last 3 episodes definitely dropped off for me, and by the time it was all said and done in the finale, I was a little unsatisfied with it. I don't think this is a bad series overall, but it was just an okay series overall.